All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about Soul Casino, DJ and Ape Academy. What do they got cooking over there? They're topping the charts over here. If you take away Soul Casino, we'll get into them. We'll talk a little bit about NFT NYC. We got a lot of events going on with NFT NYC. Talk about Iron Paw Gang minting. Man, I am so excited for reveal. I need my soul to unstake on Coinbase so I can switch it over to ETH so I can absolutely sweep some Iron Paws. Talk a little bit about that. Talk about mint season coming up. Talk about everything Solana has cooking. Man, the ecosystem is alive and thriving on both Solana and Ethereum. Heck, even Matic is cooking up some stuff. We got a lot to talk about today. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be hosting yet again. But I got to say, my boys held it down. We had Shake and JS come on. Shout out to them for holding it down with my wonderful co-host, Dorian. Dorian, you did a phenomenal job hosting, bro. Phenomenal job hosting.
Dude, thank you, man, but you give me way too much credit, dog. I got in your shoes one time, and I'm like, man, Bison don't need to take vacation ever again, dog. I'm like, let me get more people in to try to fill in for Bison. So I'm glad that JS and Shake decided to join us, but dude, I'm super happy you're back, man, and definitely respect what you do. Not only am I happy that you're back, I'm happy that everybody else in the audience is back to tune in for another episode, dog. Today's a holiday, and it's feeling like Christmas, man.
That's right. That's right. And I am so excited to just meet up. Hey, look, if you are in the audience, if you are listening in and going to be an NFT NYC, please let us know. I would love to meet up with you guys. We will be at all the events with the No Fluff crew, with Cyber Samurai. We'll be with Easy. We'll be with the Klano folks. I mean, I'm so excited. Do I hit up the Backpack crew? I'm gonna meet up with them for a drink. Dude, I just cannot wait to actually be 100% not dead like I was in Miami and just absolutely crush it with the boys and the girls too. So I'm so excited. But
Dude.
joining us on this show, as always, it's our wonderful co-host Joe, rocking the Pepe.
Oh, the
today. How
Pepe.
you doing, JoeSol?
Hey, you know what it is, bro. I had to throw out the Pepe for the gang today. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, hear you beautifully, sir.
Oh, beautiful,
Hear you
beautiful.
Sound like an angel dog.
Awesome, beautiful. Oh man, yeah, I'm excited, guys. Good to see both your faces today. Absolutely stunning. Super stoked. I just got off the course like not 10 minutes ago. We're living life, baby.
I saw the picture, bro. I saw the picture. You don't have to lie. I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh man, here we go. Joe's gonna be a little late. That's okay. I'll just run with it. I'll run with it right now. Man, made it on time. I love to see it. So, Joe, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Been able to consolidate my plays on both sides of the field on ETH and Solana. I'm feeling good. Got a little bag of liquidity to mess around with for some upcoming mints and flip season. I think we've kind of seen that here. I know we'll get into it, but yeah, man, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, the ecosystem's thriving right now. Let's talk a little bit about the market overview real quick, and then we'll jump into some news headlines, talk about some discussion points, all that good stuff like we normally do. If you are listening on podcast, please make sure you head over to YouTube, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, Thursdays. We do stream live. You go ahead and hit that little subscribe button if you are watching. If you're over on Twitter, well, we love you still over there too. Anyways, getting into the volume, we are at 192,000 Solana volume. Magic Eden representing about 57% at 111,000. Tensor at 32% with 64.5K Solana volume. Hades Swap around 6%, about a 12K Solana volume. And then from there on out, Elixir doing a little bit of numbers. Coral Cube Exchange Art at 1.54K Solana volume. Guys, we're moving right now.
Yeah.
It seems to be about the same market share we've been seeing. Really, it's just a battle between Magic Eden and Tensor right now. Hades Swap almost always has like 10 to 15K Solana volume every single day. Elixir's making some moves too. So I'm curious because I'm really excited to see what goes on. They did just make an announcement with the Klano team that they're going to be co-hosting or co-sponsoring the event over in NFT NYC. And they just hired Drewski. Drewski is one of my favorite people in the NFT space. I think Elixir's a sleeper. But guys, how do you feel about the market right now?
I'm feeling good, dog. It's great to see so much momentum in the market. Of course, Cleanosaurus just steady accumulating, dog, for the next step up, man. I'm always got my eye on not only on Cleanosaurus, but other things in their ecosystem. Mints are moving. Yeah, man, it's just overall positive sentiment. It's definitely a great turnaround from that 2 or 3 month period where it was just, oh, dude, it was just so depressing, man. So depressing. So I'm definitely happy that there's life continuing in the market, man. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, look, we have our ebbs and flows in this ecosystem. It almost constantly. We have these like mini cycles. I would not consider this a full bull or anything like that. Solana still at almost $21 now, but we have to take our wins when we can take them. And right now, it just feels fun to be in this ecosystem with everything going on right there. So I totally agree, Dor. Joe, how do you feel about the ecosystem right now? What are you looking at as far as trades on NFTs and coins themselves?
Yeah, man, ecosystem's looking good. I think we're seeing sort of, not a crazy influx of people that have been playing with ETH or like AVAX or these other chains, VeChain, coming to Solana and starting to realize like, oh man, good projects can come from here. Yeah, it was super seamless and easy to use. UI UX is clean. So I'm starting to see that type of like narrative start to creep in, and I think it's about time. So, man, I'm excited. There's like 3 or 4 projects for Sol that I'm really into right now that I think have some really good upside to them and some really, if anything, low downside, very minimal risk. On the ETH side of things, I think we can talk about too, is there's some exciting plays on that side as well. I think we can get in on Alpha Corner. But yeah, I think there's opportunities right now in the market, especially token-wise. I know AD Leverage Labs and the paper chat have been really trading, going crazy with a lot of different like sushi swap coins. And it's kind of like you see those mini bull cycles, man. You had Doge rip, we had everything rip, it trickled back down. Nothing changes, right? These cyclical, it's just either they're macro or micro swings. How big are they? But I think we're kind of used to these cyclical nation. And anyone that's been here, I think is starting to really capitalize on the way the market moves. And we can see, okay, liquidity pumps in. Where's that liquidity going to trickle down to? Let's set our bets beforehand. And we're kind of like seeing between the lines here, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It does feel like just in general, crypto, NFTs on all chains, there is movement in the market, and that's just always a fun time to be a participant in. I still believe that April is going to be a phenomenal month for NFTs, for crypto. May is really the big question mark, and what happens after that, right? I think that we are just primed and ready for a nice little run here over the next to what 4 weeks or so, and then we'll kind of just step back and evaluate from there. But we do have a ton of good mints on the horizon in Solana, on AVAX, on ETH, on Polygon, everything coming up. So there's definitely money going to be moving within the ecosystem. Now, getting into mints, let's talk about Sol Casino, guys. I wasn't here on Thursday. We can certainly. I do want to talk about this though because there's guys. Look, I will never talk bad on a project. As somebody who is working on a project myself, I know how much goes into the mint date and getting people hyped and everything like that. That these guys were kings of it, right?
Yes,
Kings
yes,
and
they were.
queens. You know, I don't know what their team looks like, but they were masters at getting people talking on the timeline. Then they started increasing their supply size, and you're like, okay, well, that's a red flag. The mint was
Mint
not supposed to
cost.
be 12 SOL originally, and then it bumped up to 12 SOL. This and then they put out that announcement last night that was just like I couldn't even make
Dog.
sense of it, bro. It was just too much, man.
I was
So
like, what's going on here? It's getting me congratulated, dog.
I mean, it was just all over the place. So, you know, one, I feel bad for people that didn't get in the mint. They felt like they had to FOMO in at like like high 20s, 35 is what it reached up to. And then just had to watch all of that unfold because I mean it just feels like really shady, honestly. You know, the announcement was not well crafted. I don't know. And again, I know that team is from Lithuania, actually. So English is not their first language, and I don't blame them for that. But if that isn't, you need to make sure that you have somebody who's clear at communications, especially when it comes to a project that had this much hype, this much mint funds. Then on top of that, the one thing that's hurting my soul right now, because now I have to like talk back to Stud, who's like, you know, if they're doing it, we can too, is 7.77% enforced royalties.
Yeah.
I just, you know, look, I love the fact that we have enforced royalties again. I love it. I love it more than anybody else. I believe that creators should be rewarded in some way, shape, or form for continuing sales. It's one of the big selling points for a lot of these brands to make brands, games, everything like that, to have continuing revenue from their performance, right? But when you start, we had it, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna not perform well." We saw Klanos rip up to like 100 at one point. Still wants to break, and once they clear that 100 mark, dude, I think sky's the limits. It's just that psychological level, right? But we see it with them. We see it with a few other collections, but a lot of people are like, "There's no way it's gonna work." Well, it still does. Oogie came out with enforced royalties. They're still doing incredibly well. They're sitting at 28 SOL essentially. It enforced royalties are much less of a hurdle than we expected. Now, the problem is we're setting dangerous precedents with these above 5% royalties, like we are. Especially once you creep into 7.77%. Like I can see justification for maybe taking a little bit upward if you are really providing some sort of unique value proposition. But bro, you are another gambling play. What do you mean? Like 7.77% is just, that's a tax, dude. That is literally like a sales tax here in the States for a state, you know, like over in Georgia and stuff, it's like 7.5% sales tax. That's what we're getting. So I mean, guys, how do we feel about this? Because right now I just like it just doesn't feel healthy to me. And you know, like I said, I won't talk like complete FUD about a project, but I do want to help boost this ecosystem, and I just don't feel like this is the right way. Dor, we'll go to you first, and then Joe.
Yeah, man, I don't know the Sol Casino team personally, so my statements are just from their actions, and what they're doing seems a bit cash grabby. You raise the supply, then you raise the mint price, then you, on top of that, you have a 7.77 enforced royalty. Like, yo, come on, dog. Like, I just don't understand. It's hard for me to justify, especially when you're marketing saying, oh, we're already profitable. We're already profitable. If you're already profitable, why the heck do you need to raise that much funds? Like, I just don't get it. So GS put out an amazing tweet yesterday, and this was about 12 hours ago. Their entire collection at 12 SOL sold for so they made a total of 60,000 SOL off this mint. Off of the volume 13 hours ago, they made another 4.8K, dog. So they're sitting around 65,000 sold profit from not doing anything. And being able to compete with platforms out there like Rollbit and Dualbots, like I just don't understand. What is the point of buying this NFT besides you personally trying to make a quick profit? We see a lot of gambling plays out there and they don't hold up. Like, I'm a firm believer that this space has a lot of positive sum aspects, but when you get into the gambling area, it's zero sum. If people aren't using your platform and making you liquidity to rev share with your holders, they're using somebody else's. And once again, with platforms like Rollbit out there, why are you going to use Sol Casino? Even in certain countries that they have licensing for, I think like Krakow or something like that, they're not even, users aren't even able to use it from their own country. So there's just a lot of questionable things going on with this project, and maybe that is due to the language barrier. But if your primary audience is English speaking, I think it's important for you to have somebody who can translate the vision of the team and communicate more effectively to the community, because things seem pretty cash grabby, man, and I'm not bullish on this long term. So hats off to the people who made money, but I won't be touching this one.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it feels like I didn't think they had rev share to begin with, and all of a sudden in that announcement, it sounds like they have rev share. So maybe it's a little more bullish if you want to play the narrative in the short term. But to me, it just felt like they were selling a rakeback card, which you go to any casino or anything, that is how they incentivize you to stay there, not sell you that so you can get rakeback. So I don't know. Joe, what do you think about all this, man? I just can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, I traded it. I had a whitelist, minted it, minted a mythic actually.
You love to see it, man.
Listed it for 31 Sol, and it sold like instantly.
Let's go, Joe.
Funny, I wasn't going to do it, and I was in Walmart with my girl, and I'm like watching the sentiment in all these group chats. I'm like, oh, people are minting this out.
Oh yeah,
dude. I went. It was 14 minutes left. And I went. And it was 88% minted out. I was not going to mint it. And I said, oh, I'm minting this. I have to. People really pay 12. I was not planning on it. I was like, oh, it's going to be 30, 40%. But what I realized is if you allocate it to the right groups and you have that psychological ticker and people go and you know that you're going to get 80% minted out immediately because you gave it to Googles or so on and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then the retail like me comes in with one mint and goes, oh, 80% I'm minting, right? And that's how you kind of compound that effect to get to your mints out. For me, it was a mint and flip from the grip because I'm not getting into the sketchiness of rev share plays anymore at all. And I think people have the allure of DCF, right? DJ and coin flip and the kickback and like Oak Paradise and the kickback. And they have these ideas of like, oh, I could get X amount of Sol just by holding it. But it's really a fallacy anymore. I mean, you have the trusted and true tried casino markets that everyone uses, and then they might have a couple months of liquidity and volume, but for the most part, that's probably going to go by the wayside. So yeah, I feel, and to be honest, as I'm growing and kind of growing out of like flipping mentality, I'm starting to feel bad. Honestly, it's like, dude, I dumped 31 Sol on somebody that's now holding that till you know what. It's part of the game, but it does suck sometimes too.
Look, Joe. You're such a nice guy, and I respect that. But at the same time, nobody told people to purchase that for 31 Sol. Nobody held a gun to that individual's head and was like, buy Joe's NFT for 31 Sol. If somebody wants to ape into it, dog, they're going to have to suck that up, man. And if they ride it to zero, they should count it as a lesson learned. But because you see that the market demands that at a 31 Sol value, that's not your problem. You're just flowing around with the market, man. Instead of fighting against it, trying to dictate where the market goes, just recognize how it's moving and take profit while you can.
Yeah, that's very well put, D. I appreciate that, Dor, for sure, brother. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And I mean, right, there's plays to be made on FUD, right? This thing gets flooded down below 13.9 Sol. Like people, I understand why you enter there, but like it's so hard to get yourself not to FOMO when you're first starting in this market and you see these hype plays and you're like, there's no way they're giving it to all the influencers, whitelist. How do I got, and you have so much FOMO. So I'm going to start thinking about that mindset, like really try to put myself in my shoes 16 months ago and really try to start leading with that foot forward instead of like what I'm doing, I don't know. I just kind of had like a paradigm shift today with that actual trade. So I'm glad you asked me about that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I agree with Dor because nobody was pulling a gun to their head. It was just the FOMO factor. And sometimes like, look, as somebody who had to learn, multiple times the hard way of leverage trading, NFT trading and everything, like you have to take those losses and whether they stay in the space and learn from their mistakes or they're like NFTs are a scam, and try to blame everybody else for their mistakes, that's on them. It's not on you. And you did what you learned through the market. I mean, it's how it played out. So,
very true.
you know, I'd take it with a grain of salt. You know, you are one of 6,000 NFTs too. Like, they could have bought anybody else's. They could have, you know, done anything else with it. It's not like you're this massive whale dumping on.
Yeah, and I got it from a
Yeah.
true giveaway. A true giveaway. It was luck of the draw. Like, just one of 250 people that were in the giveaway. So I understand what you guys are saying. You're right. It's kind of like you do have to step on crap to know to jump over it the next time you see it, right? Like, that's totally true.
Dude, and I'm sure all of us can relate. I almost got wiped out of NFTs and crypto multiple times because off of FOMO, off of following influencers, off of trying to do trading styles that wasn't my own. But instead of blaming people and saying, oh, why are they doing this to me? I sat there, reevaluated my strategy, understanding what my edge was, and really refined that. So and that's why it's like I'm really, really harsh on people who are like complaining about, oh, I'm losing money, oh, these people are dumping on me. No. The one thing I love about this market is that it really boils down to your skill set and your knowledge, because nobody is forcing you to buy anything in this market.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, look, we are in a space where it's so easy to be connected to financial gains, right? Like when you buy a stock, you don't know the other person who you're selling it on to or anything like that, right? In NFTs, it's such a niche space that you do feel that like kind of seller's remorse almost, where you're like, oh man, I feel a little bad because I dumped that. One, that just means you're a good person. Two, like you don't have that connection anywhere else, right? And people will learn from it. The space will grow still, and that's okay. With each one of these projects that it comes out and you're like, I know for a fact that this in the long term is just not a sustainable project, but I'm still going to trade it anyways. That person who's taking the opposite side of it will learn that the hard way. Like it's how the markets work. It's how efficiency grows. It's how we expand the space too. So now if you are a market manipulator, that's a completely different story. Story. Yeah. You're absolutely dumping on people. You're pumping it up with your tweets and your influence in the space. That's abhorrent behavior, right? Like we shouldn't be propping that up. But you making money on one NFT through a giveaway, that's you make your bag, boo boo. That's
100% agree, dog.
So, anyways, moving on. Let's talk a little bit more in a bright spot. Let's talk about Iron Paw Gang, man.
Hey,
absolutely cooking. I love to see Adam 8 winning right now. Last time I checked, 0.8 ETH. So I said on the show yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it's at 0.8. It's 0.792 right now. But I did say on Easy's show yesterday, I was saying anything below 0.5 is a steal. He told me it was 0.5. I went to go trade my Coinbase Sol into ETH so I can go ahead and sweep because I was going to buy at least 3 of them. And I didn't know this, but in Coinbase, I guess if you leave your Sol long enough, it stakes it automatically. So now I have to unstake it. It takes 5 days. And I'm like, I don't have like the lick I have saved right now on Solana. I don't want to move it because I know what it's going to be for. It's going to be for heist. But I just didn't want to move it around because I didn't want to like lose it in the wormhole or anything like that, trying to bridge it over or anything like that. Whereas I could just go over to Coinbase and then, trade it from there. So I don't know. For me, I'm really happy for Adam. I'm sad for my bags because I really wanted some at a cheap price. There may be a little bit post-reveal dump, but I just don't think it's going to be nearly as much as everybody's thinking. They're like, oh yeah, it's going to go back down to 0.5, 0.4 ETH. I don't see it. One, it's ETH. Two, every one of these that I have seen so far, just from an art perspective, look like a 101, dude. They look like a 101. I just don't see any word. Plus, it's Adam, bro. This is a guy who understands the business side of art. From what I've gathered, everything was smooth on the mint. Everything worked out
super smooth, man.
And honestly, 0.15 ETH was a solid price.
Yep.
Now, I will say the one thing I did say on the show, I did say on a lot of spaces, is that once those supply voxel bots reach like 80, 90 Sol, I said, you sell that and you play the opportunity cost game, right? You transfer that over into ETH. You make about 1 ETH off that sale, right? And then you go into Iron Paw Gang post mint and try to get some there. That was the play. It worked out perfectly. Said it like I was going to. And that was just a good opportunity cost. So now, look, for the people that did buy 80, 90 Sol voxel monkey drops and did decide to mint for 0.15 ETH, I still think you're in the
That's
long
fine.
term, you're gonna
Yep.
win out, right? And you will definitely at least break even. But this was a good time to sell that, possibly get two. Now, guys, I want to go ahead and kick it over to you. We'll go to Door first and then Joe. How are we feeling about this Iron Paw gang?
Man,
Now it is going to mint or reveal after 48 hours after they mint out. So I guess it's going to go to public soon. I'm definitely trying for public. I did load up just enough just in case, but I doubt I'm going to get it, dude. There's only going to be like 300 remaining or something like that. But anyways, sorry to cut you off, Door.
Yeah, no, man, I'm feeling good about Iron Paw. While like you and Shake were very huge advocates of the strategy of go ahead and sell into the pump to potentially have enough ETH to acquire some low. That was a great strategy for me myself. I just didn't feel like doing the whole selling on sold and sending it back to swap to ETH. So a bit laziness on my part might have cost me out on a couple $100 gain in between. But in my opinion, it's fine. I still minted Iron Paw. I'm still happy with what it was going. People were like, oh, it only opened at 0.45. I'm like, just give it time. You guys want things to happen overnight. Sometimes it's just important to let it cook. And boy, is it cooking. You love to see it. 0.8, I didn't even know about that. So I still think with this, maybe it's hopium in the sense that once it reveals, I think there might be more trading and speculation going on, not even speculation, but more trading happening for the collection because people are going to be looking for those traits to make the rare one of ones. And I think there are 40 of them in the collection. But Adam is at the top of his class on the marketing side and business side of art. And my thesis is always just back good founders. So while Iron Paw is only at a 0.8 ETH floor now, I'm not worried, man. Just give it a bit. I've been holding 4x4 supply chain voxel for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months now. You think I'm scared another 4 or 5 months? slow and steady. We'll get there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And so with that mechanic where you can swap out the drivers and stuff, for those that don't know, it does sound, Door's right. It does sound like there's going to be 40 different thoroughbreds is what they're called, right?
Yes.
Or purebreds. It's
Purebreds.
Purebreds or yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So 20 of them will come paired already. You will have the mech and the driver itself. The other 20 are actually going to be combos of a non one of one and a regular mech, they all look sick, but you're going to have to pair them up. So it does introduce some very interesting mechanics where you could really fetch a hefty price for that person that may have the driver of the 101 or may have the mech of the 101 and wants to pair them up. So I'm excited to see what happens. Look, I think a lot of people are just waiting for that post-reveal dip because they come from Solana. This is ETH and this is Atom, right? This art is going to be unreal, and I don't think there's going to be much of a dip. Joe, do you kind of echo that sentiment? What's your thoughts on Iron Paw Gang?
Yeah, Iron Paw Gang. So my sentiment was to sell at 1 ETH if you have a couple or a few, and put that in your pocket mint cost, and then hold on to the other two. I do think this is the only thing, right? Is inherently Blur cooks floors down just because of the inherent buying and selling and not caring about a loss, and then people kind of not caring about rarity too much as well. Like that's the only thing that scares me about most of the trading volume being with Blur. Now with Adam one of one, like his one, that's more of an art collector vibe. So hopefully not as many traders come into that. But man, these Blur traders are savages, dude. I've been just watching ETH for a while because I'm starting to actually like. I've been talking to NFT Doctor, and I want to get into the ETH space and start trading there. So I've kind of just been speculating. And man, dude, these farmers, man, they just cook floors. They just don't care. And I think you can see from Bored Apes to Mutant Apes. I mean, every ETH collection since Blurus came out has taken a hit, and they continue to do so. So, I mean, I know it's a free market, and someone can say, you know what, someone's setting up. If they want to buy here, they're buying here. If they want to sell here, they're selling here. There's two sides of the coin with instant liquidity, right? We're bitching about not having liquidity for our JPEGs. We want instant liquidity. Well, just like the universe, you're giving something, you got to take something. You're taking something, you got to give something. So I think we're hurting floor prices with having the availability of that instant liquidity. But to each his own, I think the community will rival. I think there's enough people waiting to scoop and sweep at that 0.5 to 0.6 that we might not see it. We might chill right where we are, smart 0.1 to 0.2, pull back on that reveal, and then people start really having some fun with it. I hope the best for him. I'm just a little bit nervous with the trading aspect of it because I've seen what Blur has done to a lot of hot projects.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, we're seeing it with DeGods too, and we can talk about that for a little bit. But Blur farmers came out in force when it came to DeGods going over to ETH. They did hit like a couple of floors, but or a couple of nice sales as far as like 11, 13 SOL, 17 SOL, I think, or 17 ETH was the highest sale, if I remember correctly. But after that, you just see all the buys were around the floor. So I'm just, like I do worry a little bit about DeGods in the sense that you really want to see, and it's just like Sol, right? You want to see those above floor buys because that signals that the people that buy above floor know that it is far less liquid than it is at the floor. And if you're buying for above floor, that means you're signaling to the rest of the market, hey, I'm holding this project because I love what it's bringing to the ecosystem. I believe in the ecosystem. This is going to be a medium-term hold at minimum for me. And, I hope that Blur doesn't continue, because look, as much as I love Sol, Solana is home for me. I want to see ETH win too. It's the rising tide lifts all boats sort of mantra that we all say. So ETH has a lot more eyes on it. It has a lot more liquidity in it. So if they start failing, then it's just like, oh, well, all NFTs are a scam. That's just not good for anybody, right? No. And that's simply not the case. We'll see what happens. I think there is just too much incentivization for the Blur farming. And that's what's killing that ecosystem over there. So maybe they should tune back rewards a little bit, or Ethereum should stop placing so much value on them. That's just them. That's on them. I will figure it out. But I think that's a really good point, Joe. It's just seeing, okay, when it reveals what's going to happen with Blur and how does that affect the floor. Couldn't agree more. It might cap its upside. Who knows? Who knows, right? Moving on, let's talk a little bit more about the Solana ecosystem. Talk a little bit about what's going on here. We do have the Degenerate Ape Academy talking about an art revamp. To me, I just love DAA art, man. Like I was like, how are you going to revamp this? This is sick. Now, I think the revamps are going to come mostly in the terms of the DAA is the key, like classical case of you are as good as your floor, right? The good DAAs are like legendary, right? Like they are so good looking and everything, but the ones that have like the maid outfit with a corn dog sticking out of their mouth,
it's terrible.
Ain't it, right? That's just not it. So I think with this revamp, what they mean is they're just gonna make that floor look sick, right? That's what I would imagine the revamp means. But we've seen a pump in there, dude. They were topping the charts for the first time in ages, dude. You love to see some of these OG projects win, and I'm happy to see it. Now, Door, as our resident ape holder, did you still hold your ape?
No, I do not have my ape.
Okay, fair enough.
No more resident ape holder here. Sorry, man.
That even brings us into.
I got some knowledge on that aspect, B. If you want me to drop some gems,
shoot it. What you got?
So the V2, which is coming out. So I always get this wrong because I'm a smooth brain. So before I go, immutability is when it's set how it is. You can't change it. Is that non-immutable? Immutable is when it's not changing, right?
Yeah.
I'm smooth brain. Okay. So
that's it.
DAA are immutable, right? They're a mutable collection, and that's how they're known. That's what they're going to stay as. V2 is basically going to be being able to put traits over top of those traits, right? So like say I have a DAA that has a black shirt on, I can put a new trait over that black shirt, right? But that original ape will always stay true because of the immutability of it, right? So it's not like it's like a raindrop protocol deal where you're swapping SPLs or SPS, what are they? I forget what they're even called now. Whatever those container ship NFTs are on Rain on a Boots protocol. It's a little bit different than that, to where these are going to be, basically like a dressing room, right? Like come in, you can dress them up how you want them, but that's not going to be on the actual chain. I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I think that's what V2 is.
Right. That sounds, I mean, look,
great explanation, Joe.
I'm just, that was a really good explanation. And I'm just stoked to see that there's life in this market with them, right? Like, as we're coming into the next wave of NFTs, in my opinion, where some of the old ones, if they don't adapt, they're going to die out, right? Like you were built in a bull market, and that just doesn't give you the flexibility like you have now, where all of these projects are coming out right now. The Lilies of the world, the Klanos of the world, the Oogies, even with their gamified reveal process. Like you have to come up with really innovative things to really compete in this market. I mean, Mad Labs, Heist, of course. I'm gonna shill some Heist coming out. We're trying to do stuff that is pushing not only just what NFTs can do, but what Solana can do as well. And so I would love to see DAA come out with even more stuff than just an art rework. And I think this is the first step towards doing that, right? Like DJ Trash Panda is doing really cool things with Cupcake, with Boots and Raindrop. Like those are those guys, right? And a couple of other technical partners within the space. But I would love to see DAA make more of a push of it's not just art. We're here because we're OG and we mean well for the space. They do, they do. If you've been in the space for a long time, you don't question their ability to adapt in the space. But I just want to see it happen a little quicker, because this is a space that is moving at the speed of light right now, even in a bear market. And once that bull hits, the people that are building now are going to be the ones that really reap the rewards. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Door, as somebody who held an ape, are you interested in buying back now?
Not for trade swaps. I would probably buy back for something if I knew there was a airdrop coming in or something like that, or like meetups. And that's another thing too. I don't know, maybe because I didn't spend enough time in DAA, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of in-person meetups too, because that's one of the biggest value drivers for me as an NFT holder. Even with my SMB, it's like I purchased it just so I can go to the SMB events, like in NYC and any other place I go to. So like if DAA had more events, I'd be more inclined to pick up one and hold on for a longer term. But not fading them is just, they don't seem to operate as quickly as other projects in the space. Still super OG, highly successful. But as you said, Bison, I wish they picked up their pace a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. So it's going to be fun to watch what unfolds with them. I hope they adapt quickly. I hope they don't get left behind. I don't think they will, just because they're an OG project and people always value that. We see it with punks, right, over on Ethereum. I think Solana is going to be the same way, especially with, once Monkey DAO sorts their stuff out. Just with, it's not even Monkey DAO's fault, right? It's SMB and 80s DAO that they have beef with. But once the dust settles over there, I think them and DAA are obviously the clear winners when it comes to provenance, right? So that being said, we got the DAA coming out with their revamp. Let's talk a little bit about NFT NYC.
Hey,
or I'm definitely stoked to see you, Joe. I hope we see you.
It's not happening. I talked to Eddie last night. I can't swing it though it's not happening for the 13th. That doesn't mean the 14th or 15th, but there's no way. Like, I talked to him and he was like, all right, you fly in Newark. Like, we had this whole plan, found like an airport in South Carolina, this whole plan, and then we did the timing. It's just not going to time out. So it's rough, but I'm thinking Art Basel 100%. I'm in Florida. Talk to TJ. Like, we got to do that 100%. It's just, man, it's really hard I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is me transparent. I have a hard time leaving my dog, and this sounds so stupid, bro, but I really do. So like, I'd have to leave her for another week and just and I'm already going to be away for the wedding. So it's just a lot. So I miss and love you guys, but yeah, I'm just going to break it to you now. I'm going to trim the fat. So yeah, I won't be there.
Okay.
Hey, dog, we're going to miss you, but I understand, man. As a fellow
Can you get a cut out
parent,
my face, Door? Get a cut out of my face. Carry that with me, with you guys the whole time. That's how I'll dox.
I got that picture of you, Joe. Don't worry about it. So I'll put that on some cardboard. That's fine. I am gonna miss you, but we'll definitely see you in Miami. I still need to come see you regardless over in the other side of Florida. So nonetheless, let's talk a little bit about NFT NYC. There's gonna be a lot of events. I think it is interesting how close they were to NFT LA. And now that we have some data as far as you go into NFT LA, things are pumping, things are looking right. Then after NFT LA, things kind of died down a little bit. Do we expect that same thing to happen? That's the first question I have for you guys. Let's go with Joe first and then Door. So
for NFT NYC, things that are exciting. I'm sorry you broke up in that last part.
Yeah. So as far as NFT LA, after NFT LA, like things kind of died down a little bit, Joe?
Yes,
do we expect that same thing to happen with NYC?
I don't, because we saw the pump happen for NFT LA, the die down, the reaccumulation with D-Guys and Utes leaving, that pump, and then the die down. And that's where we are now. We're kind of at that die down now. And I think motivation will ramp up closer to that. But I don't think it's going to be like a blow off top. I think we're just going to see people accumulate more projects that they trust in for these in-house events, man. I mean, Klano's holding strong around 90. Wolf Capital coming out with real IRL plans, like spending a lot of their treasury just trying to pimp out their, like, and you see that floor price just steadily rising. And I think like OVOs, like that floor price, that all these people that are taking time to say, hey, we're going to incentivize holders in a real life setting. Like we do a lot of things cool Web3 for you, but yeah, we're going to hook it up. Like even SMB still holding it down. Why do you think their floor price is still above? Like with all that FUD, to have a 150 floor price is super hard, you know? And I think it goes to show you that you might see these pumps on floors, but I think they're going to start to sustain. I don't think they're going to be these blow off tops because people are go, oh, this is consistency, right? We got another one coming up in a couple months. Like there's no reason to just dump it anymore. You're getting both sides of the coin. You're getting incentivized on the IRL and you're getting incentivized on the Web3.
Yep. I agree. I think this time will be a little bit different because we know what to expect too. And I think enough projects realize that, hey, we can just ride both of these IRL events and make it a fun ecosystem that you can experience in real life. And we'll just ride both of those. We're not going to really do anything in between. But after that, there's a large break between the next conference. In my opinion, the next big one is probably Breakpoint, which is going to be in Amsterdam. If you guys didn't see that announcement,
really?
It's going to be in Amsterdam. That sounds sick. I won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but
I ain't making it.
that sounds like a balling conference. I would love to go over to Breakpoint, especially in Amsterdam, dude. That is so cool. But nonetheless, there's a large amount of time. So what do you have to do in the meantime? That's when you start rolling some stuff out, especially now that we have enforced royalties and everything. I think a lot of projects are sitting on a powder keg of what they're going to start working on in the meantime. Dor, do you kind of share that sentiment?
Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head, man. There's nothing that I can say that you and Joe didn't already articulate immaculately. So, no, I agree with you both on the price action of NFTs and what's planning on happen between NFT LA and the next big event. If Breakpoint, like I know a lot of people go to Breakpoint, but I don't think it's one of those NFT focused events. I just know from past history at Breakpoint, something bad is going to happen. So I'm going to have my bags prepared.
No, I don't think we're going to go through another FTX sort of ordeal. I would certainly hope not, but who knows, dude? This stuff with CZ and, a possible notice from Interpol is well, if Binance goes down, we might be in a world of hurt.
Dog.
We'll see what happens. That might happen in May, and that might just fulfill the prophecy of sell in May and walk away.
Do you think we might have I know we probably should be talking about this off of stream, but maybe a RareFUD meetup, not if this one, probably at the next event, or at least come say hey to us.
I mean, yeah, well, we'll definitely be around. We'll definitely be with the No Fluff boys. I know they got a few things cooking, and unfortunately, we just, we came up with last minute plans, or somewhat last minute plans to make it over to NYC. So I'm gonna let those boys have their shine, and I'll just kind of tag along. So if you guys can see the No Fluff crew, we will be tagging along with them to most everything, I would imagine.
Pretty much everything.
They're the homies. So if you do see us, like, come say hey. I will be giving away heist list spots while we're in NYC. So if you guys still need a spot and you are going to be over there, come find me. I will have a handful to give out. So yeah, make sure you find me. But
come find me and I'll buy you a shot and probably give you a Cyber Samurai. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's utility right there. But yeah, as far as like a little meetup, we may do like, maybe coffee or something like that. The morning hours really aren't that occupied. So, maybe we'll tweet out from the RareFUD account if anybody is in NYC wants to meet up for coffee. I'd love to meet some of you guys in person on a more intimate level than 500 people Klano event or anything like that. Super excited for the Klano event. Speaking of Klanos, let's talk a little bit about them. I need to pull up the whole list of what the artifacts are going to be for this one, but I'm so excited for this pack. We'll talk about the artist first, and then the surprise I saw today, I was like, what on earth are you what is this? So let's talk about the artists that are going to be in this pack. This is going to be pizza slices. If you guys don't know the alpha, we had croissants in Paris, we had tacos in LA. This one's going to be pizza slices. So if you guys are looking, that is going to be what is normally in your pack. Now, if you are a lucky one, there's going to be artifacts and relics, I guess. Relics are like the top tier, right? It's only like one per artist, whereas the artifacts, there's three per artist this time. So looking over the artists, one is Late Duke. I actually don't know much about Late Duke. And I may I honestly, I'm excited though.
Yeah,
I love it. Another one is JoeSol. So if you guys don't
Joyce.
If you guys don't know who Joyce is fantastic. Actually works with the Klano team, so I'm excited to see. Joyce is so good at she's made so many good threads on art composition and everything like that. That's just like to me is like an art enjoyer who doesn't know anything about theory or anything, just breaks it down so beautifully. And her art is fantastic. I love it. I'm so about it. So I'm excited to see that. Ben, I always mess up his last name. It's Bochow or something like that. If you guys don't know who he is, has somewhat of a John Lay sort of style with his lines and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This will be much easier to share the screen as I go along with this. But let's go ahead and pull up these cards that you see. So this is Ben. If you guys don't know Ben's work, Ben sells for like 100 sold minimum most times. So definitely knows his stuff. Joyce as well. Joyce was behind Pop Heads. She did a lot of art for Pop Heads. She did Klanos, and she also has her 101 series. I cannot remember them off the top of my head. What are they called?
Critters,
again?
I think.
Critters. Thank you. I wanted to say creatures. I was like, no,
it's Critters, I think.
So Critters. I got the GM. This is Late Duke, which also, this reminds me a lot of High Blink style, almost like really vivid colors and stuff. That's going to be exciting to see. Let's continue going through this because there was another one that I wanted to share. Come on. I got all the interns going ham on the memes, but there was, this is the big one. This to me is sick. They're going to have 3 Saga phones in this pack that you can redeem this cupcake for a Saga phone. Now, I know a lot of people are like, give me the NFT instead. Look, as a tech nerd, I'm so
I'll take the phone.
I will take the phone every single day of the week. I need a new phone anyway. So this sounds sick to me. I'm like, that is IRL utility.
Right, I know, right? Top tier utility.
I will take a Saga all day of the week, especially, dude, imagine they come out with like a Klano exclusive Saga phone. First off, that's going to be worth more than any NFT you can get. I promise you right now. Like there's going to be, I would probably not use it if it's Klano branded or anything like that. I'm saving that 100%. There is no shot I'm using it. As much as I do want to use it, I will go buy a Saga myself. Xenom is another one. I was waiting for this one because I was like, Xenom just sounds like he's going to be in there. If you guys don't know who Xenom is, Monster Friends. His series Monster Friends sell for like 250 sold minimum. Probably the most notable in terms of like floor price, if you wanted to talk about it that way. But really good pixel artist. He also made, if you guys haven't seen this, he made a one-of-one where it was actually interactive. It was like a little pixel, like Game Boy Color sort of Super Nintendo style map where you can actually interact with the NFT and have your little character go around the map. It was sick. So Xenom is one of those artists that just loves pushing the boundaries. Love to see it. I think that's, oh wait, no, there's Mr. Umaki too. If you guys, I had to do some digging into Mr. Umaki when I saw this, but this guy knows art. This guy is sick, dude. I love his art. But overall, got another goated lineup for these packs. I'm so excited because this is gonna be the first time I actually get to open a pack, and I am so excited. I know it's actually gonna be doors too.
Yeah, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And for a little bit of alpha for you guys, I heard that if you're an SMB holder, they might be giving Klano packs out during the SMB meetup. So who knows? You might be able to get double Klanosaur packs.
Oh, I can't wait, Dor. You know, I miraculously I'm now an SMB holder as well. I don't know when it happened. I think I blacked out the other night and just bought one. But you know, look, I'm an SMB holder. I got registered for the event. Man,
let's go.
You know what? For some reason, I feel like I have to thank you for that, Dor, but I don't know. I don't know why.
You're good. You're like, so it's so crazy because I was like, oh, SMBs are 140. I might as well buy a second. And I'm like, oh, well, Bison, I can just hook my boy up so he can get it and we can roll together.
I'm excited, bro. Look, I love Nom and everybody like that. Monkey DAO in general, I have no qualms with them. I wish I held on to my monkey just to hang on to them, but I am glad, from a financial perspective that I did, leverage out of it. But nonetheless, super excited to meet up with the crew again. I'm so excited for all these events, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm so excited for all of them. It's always a fun time meeting everybody in person. And again, if you are going to be an NFT NYC, please let us know. I would love to meet up with you guys. Just because, first, this show wouldn't be supported at all. Well, really, we do this for fun right now, but it wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. So if you guys are going to be an NFT NYC, please hit me up in Twitter. Make sure that you're joining. Spoonakiss also has an NFT NYC Telegram group. Make sure you hit him up because he will have all the happenings, all the people that are going over there, so you can stay up to date with everybody that's going to be an NFT NYC. That being said, let's talk a little bit about these upcoming mints. Then we'll talk about NFT Showdown as well as Alpha Corner. Talk about our next picks and everything.
Yeah.
We did lose Joe. I'm sure he'll come back and
He'll be back.
So now that we've done Soul Casino, we do have a few and Iron Paw Gang. We do have a few mints coming up on the Soul side. I'm not so aware of anything on the East side.
Subber has a mint coming out on the East side. I just signed up for pre-sale today through Monkey DAO. I know. Hey, go ahead and check that out, Bison. They're coming out. I forgot their collection's name or whatnot. But yeah, they're coming out with a 10K collection on each side. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So I got a couple pre-sales for that. So that's one of them.
Hey, that sounds great. Now I will say with Subber though, the one thing I'll see, let me just check Soul Sniper real quick. That is soulsniper.xyz. If you guys don't use it, that is a free tool. Everybody should be using Soul Sniper. If I check Subber keys though, and I look over there, they're sitting at a 2.72 floor. That feels really cheap right now. Now, I will say as a project lead, I should say, we actually got exploited on Heist through their Subber tool. We have yet to get the post-mortem on what happened, but a mod or a community manager from a project did exploit us. So until that gets fixed, I'm bearish on Subber. I'm
bearish as well.
We don't use Subber at all anymore moving forward. So if you are trying to,
thank you for letting me know that, because
you're
gonna want to using them anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna want to know that. So also, if you are trying to collab with Heist, I'll let you know right now. One, you had a month and a half. You should have done it then. And two, like our spots are dwindling fast. So we're trying to save it for like fun marketing events and everything like that. The collaborations are pretty much locked up right now. We've done over 350 collaborations just on Subber alone. We will try to fix that. But anywho, yeah, Subber mint coming up is interesting. I would love to see what they do for ETH and if they gain any traction over there, because I don't really know any allow list programs over there. So it'll be
I don't know either. So for me, it's kind of one of those low risk things. I think I got 3 pre-sales, so it was like 5 sold. So even if it doesn't do well, it's not like going to be the end of the world. But one thing I've been doing more is trying to get more ETH exposure to branch off to other chains. We saw, which is surprising, but I don't know why I'm surprised. And maybe it's just the tone of the market, but UTZ is sitting around 2 point something ETH right now. So it pumped when it bridged over. So, but I think as always, we have these hype cycles where prices go up and prices will go down. So I'm still looking for an entry in UTZ just because it's on Matic. And if any project's going to be top tier, it's going to be that one. So I'm just trying to do my best to work myself slowly in the other ecosystems. Iron Paw is getting me on ETH. I'm looking at Subber just to have minor exposure just in case it does succeed. Looking at UTZ on Matic and even potentially Ordinals pick up. So yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what happens over there, but I'm laser focused right now. Obviously on Heist. Look, I will tell you right now, we will have Juice on at some point in the near future. That's pretty much going to be our only interview for April. If you guys are tuning into the show and everything like that, I want to get Juice on here. I want Door to interview us because I'll be biased and I'll let Juice and I tag team that. But we do want to get more information out to you guys. Just on what we have planned. There was still questions in the VC last night. I jumped into VC on Discord, and there's still people like, is this going to be like Grand Theft Auto? No, it's not going to be like Grand Theft Auto. It is an idle game, right? And so trying to disseminate that information, like there's just so much hype that a lot of people are trying to cut out the noise and what's actually information. We will do a stream that is just information focused. We'll talk to you a little bit about what our thesis is behind Heist and how we generated so much hype and how we got to where we were right before mint. So you guys make sure you're subscribed to the channel down below, hit that bell notification. But I just know, like, I see behind the scenes, I know what we got cooking and it looks so good, dude. I am so excited to literally just dive into the game on stream with the homies, talk a little bit about the game when we actually have gameplay, like when it's live and everything like that. It's going to be so much fun, dude. I love how the map turned out. I love how the art's turning out. I love how everything is turning out. But there is another mint that I am very excited for, super excited for. That's Mad Lads, right? Mad Lads. I cannot.
Good.
Look, they came out with that art preview of, it looks like a 101, right? It looks like a 101. And I'll try to pull it up real quick, but I just cannot give them enough flowers. Like I love Backpack as an experience. I think X NFTs are the future, and I would be doing everything I can. I got lucky last night just because I was trying to, engage with one of their community members and was like, look, I love X NFTs, love Backpack, love what Armani's doing, and Tristan and the rest of the crew over there. Can't wait to meet them in NFT on my C. But you should not be fading Backpack at all. You shouldn't be fading. Look, I think they are going to be the next iteration. Once they release mobile, it's game over. I think they are going to be the Solana wallet. I think it's going to blow Phantom out of the water now that they're focusing on cross-chain and everything, which is good. I do not have anything against cross-chain, but you want to focus on the best product that you have right now on your own chain before you reach that critical mass and go over to other chains. That's just my 2 cents. Backpack's killing it. So those are the two.
Agreed. And one thing too, Bison, I could add to that I think is going to add to all this is the fact that Utes and DeGods are at 33.3% on Solana now, tax, right? Royalties. So I don't think there's going to be much volume there. That volume will dry up. It'll come to these other projects. It'll come to these other mints coming up, right? It'll sit on the sidelines and wait for that moment. But I think we have a lot of catapulting forces coming in. And I do think we'll see floors eventually drop on DeGods and Utes, and the team will probably buy them up. That's what I would do if I was a founder. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I think we have multiple reasons for us to have another mint and print season on our hands here.
Yep, it's gonna happen, and those two are really the ones I'm focusing on. Now I am also interested in what WAS has got going on. Unfortunately, I just haven't seen it on the timeline nearly as much as WAS is a homie, but I thought the same thing about Toonies. Now Toonies was a little bit different because they told it. It's just like with Wolf Capital, right? Where he explained Block 9 and how the bidding process works. And yet we were still all like, how does this work? Right? Toonies was the same way. They're like, this is going to function very similar to additions. There's not going to be a ton of variety, but there will be one-on-ones. There will be monochromatic ones and, different variations. But, we can't make a 3,000 generative collection because trying to make those at scale into actual physical collectibles just isn't going to be possible. When everybody found that out, it's like, oh, I don't like these. These don't have, this is like an addition. Bro, you got to get to burn it. It's just like IOTA, dude. It's just so hard to get into people's minds that this is how it's going to function, right? And so I do worry a little bit about Phygital because moving forward, it's just a new meta to introduce to people and for people to get their appetite accumulated, or I guess, or I am messing up my words, accustomed to the Phygital space. So it's going to be interesting to see.
The Phygital space is like this brand new thing that we're trying to do. And I think one of the ways to go is make a generative collection, but only have a set character or things that you can burn for. And if you really want that custom one, you pay a premium for it, because this market just doesn't understand additions and how things work on that side. So I think it's important to, I guess, try.
Did he cut out?
Yep. Yeah, he cut out. I think he cut out.
He cut out all of a sudden. I wonder if his battery went out. Oh no.
Yeah.
It did. That's okay. Anyway,
good.
man, that sucks. Midpoint too. I'm sure it was a good one because
what part did I cut out on?
Dude, you cut out like 5 seconds ago. So
okay. So anyway, it's all good.
Yep. We're gonna be curious to see what happens with not only just Phygitals in general, but Wasacorp's coming out, and I would just love to see more timeline hype for him because I do think he has a good plan. It's just marketing that to the masses is always so hard, right? It's so
we
hard.
just have more traders than we do invest. People aren't here with money that they want to lose per se, right? They're here with money they want to compound, and we don't have a market where people are coming in and it's it's like Supreme where they're going to that store and they're going to burn $500 and they don't care, right? People say they want these things and then it gets to it and they're like, oh, I can flip for 20, 30 bucks. I'm flipping for 20, 30 bucks. I don't think we have it's not on the 60 to 70%. It's more on the 40 to 30%, I think, of real collectors here that are going to want Phygital items. But then again, if you have Scum or Zenom or any of these other big one-of-ones come with something Phygital, I do think they will do very well. I think it's very relative to the artist and the project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I definitely see Phygital art, and I've been hanging out with Camille creator of Hometown series. Bison, of course, put me on him because all one artist I get put on for Bison. So I've been kicking it with him a lot, and he's been doing a lot of physical stuff where he creates a painting and then sells that painting, and then also has the NFT along with it, which I think is a pretty cool blend.
Man, I'm so jealous you get to hang out with Camille. He's like one of my favorite artists too.
He's
That's
awesome, dude. Great person to hang out with.
Yeah, he's a wholesome person. So, a quick break before we get into NFT Showdown and Alpha Corner. One heist list up for grabs. There you go. That's the secret message. I'm not even saying it. You just have to type that into the Discord at Sheriff Bison. Nana is life.
Go.
If I do a Bison, will I get whitelist?
No, you already have some.
I have like 30 pre-sales. Okay, I don't have that much. I wish I did though.
You gotta put us on stream, bro.
Oh yeah, my bad. No, I literally do not have pre-sales.
Oh, here we go.
It's at I Love Bison, isn't it?
Floyd coming in hot.
Oh damn, Floyd got in there quick.
Good stuff, Floyd.
There we go. Congratulations, Floyd.
Congrats, Floyd.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah.
That's huge, Bison. That was super nice. I didn't even know you were doing that. Let's go.
I like jumping in every now and then for the people that are listening. Dude, you listen to us for an hour. Like, you probably deserve an opportunity. Anyways, yeah. So as far as this goes, we do have NFT Showdown coming up. What do you guys? So let's talk about who won the last one, because I haven't even checked. Honestly, I'm sad because I'm pretty sure Joe won. I'm pretty sure Sharks went up the most. If I look back at what we had, it was 14.88, and Sharks are sitting at 15.79. So about a one soul gain.
Let's go, Joe.
Lotus Gang sitting at 12.99. Oh, wait, I actually beat out Joe. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Wait, but the real question is, did IOTA go up enough?
To be honest, all our plays went up a lot. If you would have sold it,
I know,
3 days in, they spiked. All of our plays went like 4 or 5 sold up, like all of ours.
IOTA's at 3.5, so technically Door wins. No, technically Door wins because it's the biggest percentage gain.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say that last week?
It's 2.99 and it's 3.5.
Oh yeah, that's what we were going for, percentage gain. Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's super low, so it doesn't have to move that much.
Yep, exactly. So
GG's. 0-5. Strike it up. I'm killing it. It, dude.
That's right. So I gotta screenshot this. So I know Silas is in the chat saying mine got deleted by Caps. Unfortunately, Floyd was actually before you in my chat. So even if he got it in, he would have beat you by just that much. Nonetheless, congrats to Floyd, and congrats to Door for winning the NFT Showdown. There you go.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's talk about picks this week, because we're going into NFT NYC. There is going to be some stuff going over the next week leading up into NFT NYC. I think this is going to be a juicy week leading up into the event. So guys, does anybody have their picks? Who wants to go first this time?
I'll go first. Seeing we're leading in NFT NYC, I've heard a lot of people have released events yet, but I haven't heard anything from Liberty, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be there. So Squirrels are, I think, around 9-10ish right now. So I think that they'll pump a little bit. Okay,
so Squirrels are sitting right now. Where did I see them earlier? They were 11.02. 11.02 is the floor price for Door. Joe, what you got for us?
Okay, I'm in between two here. Door, would you care if you go first, bro? I'm gonna see if you take me out of the.
Yeah, I already did.
It might.
Yeah,
you went. Bison, would you like to go? Sorry.
Sure, you're fine. You're fine, bro.
Yeah, bro. I got fried in the sun this morning. Literally fried, and I was in the sun. So I got fried both. I'm double fried.
So do you see my forehead right now? I sat out in the sun for like 30 minutes yesterday with my family, and I was roasted after that. So definitely feel that. As far as my pick goes, they got the cosign for a major event over in NFT NYC. They are very undervalued. I think they're building really cool stuff, and they just hired one of my favorite people in the space. Can you guess this NFT?
I don't know, man. What is it?
Ovals. I'm going Elixir. Elixir Ovals.
Like it.
18.3.
They got an event in NFT NYC, or they're sponsoring?
They're co-sponsoring the Klano event.
Oh,
So them and Klano are doing the event over at the Harbor.
Nice.
Excited for that. Look, I like these big names jumping on into events like this, and I think ovals have just been undervalued for a long time. I think under 20 SOL is just, look, that's a good price to me. So at 18.3, they do feel like a very nice buy. Feels a little bit more on the safer side, but you know what? I'm all right with it. Look, as long as I don't lose, I'm happy.
Slow and steady, man.
Ovals sitting at 18.3. What you got for us, Joe?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Wolf Cat. Wolf Capital.
Love it.
I know Jay Shep has got some stuff cooked up for from visual aspect, like a real. I just, man, he's really hungry, man. And I see what he's doing with the treasury, and he's literally putting it all back in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Barely paid himself squat. Like, he's been putting it all back in, paying for devs, paying for moderators. He's doing what you'd want. I mean, I'm biased because he's the homie, man, but I really am looking at him and watching him. Like, man, he's got a chance, and it's low risk, man. It's they're not staking, right? You don't have any real like, people are holding because they like to hold, and they're waiting for J Shep to build. And I just think there's a lot of stuff coming. So, man, I'm going with Wolf Cat, bro. I'm a holder, 100% a holder. So y'all know that. But yeah, Wolf Cat. I'm betting on my bags, bro. I've been betting on my non-bags, and I've been losing. So I'm just gonna start betting on my bags. Yeah, he's going to NFT NYC, and he'll have an event there. I don't. You know what? I'm sorry. I don't know if there's gonna be announcements. He's planning on some cool stuff.
Okay.
I hate myself.
Sorry, I almost spit out my water. Okay, so I love the call. I love J Shep. They're sitting at 6.96. Under 7 SOL is a steal, honestly. So I'm fine with it. I love the call. I have 5 Wolf Cap. I do have 2 listed right now just because they're rares. And I was like, I tell you right now, I've been saying it for a while. I do have a Scum Tilamati, and then I have a Scum hat. I cannot wait to meld those 2 together with the diamond eyes and a bloody mouth. Oh my gosh, he's gonna look like gee, dude. I'm so excited. Plus, I got this sick Solana fur one that has a halo on it and a little ear piercing with a jean jacket. He looks like he is just like the Chad, not the Chad, like the bussin' for real guy of Wolf Cap. It's funny, but nonetheless. Do you guys have any further alpha? What calls are we making going into NFT NYC? Because I definitely see a few that I think could make some moves. Let's go over to you first, Joe, and then we'll go Door.
Yes, I mean, honestly, if I had to take like 100 SOL portfolio and break it down, like, there's these Lily's post airdrop, you know what I'm saying? Wait for a drop, like a dump with them. And then, like, obviously Kalanos if you can, but they're already vamping up, they're cranking up, they're above 92. So I would look at clay makers or clay, right? Croissants, tacos, the deflationary mechanisms for them, right? Because that's the delayed gratification play, and we know that people will buy them once the hype is there, once people are able to burn, once the infrastructure is built, they can go on the website, connect their wallet, put their clay. That's when they'll buy, and the film will ensue. So this is when you start dollar cost averaging in those type of plays, right? You got Sharkies, man. Like they're not stopping. Cross chain revenue play, like a real revenue stream that's there all the time. Like, it's just, I think the plays go on OVOs, Liberty. There's all these plays that you can trust in, but what are you paying for? You're paying for the founder and the team to be active and really care. And that's where you put your money. You don't put your money in these other plays that you don't have that type of founder or base or infrastructure community. Those are flips, right? You got to be in and out with the fluctuations of volume. The other plays, they're okay if they go up and down, because if they go below your average entry, that's when you add more. And that's how you played your delayed gratification and macro, long-term plays. So that's what I'd be looking for right now. Don't look for anything maybe that's going to make you a bunch of money right away. Those are the mint and flips coming, right? That's the season that you look for those. Right now, I'm looking for those plays where you're just stacking, dollar cost averaging when you can for that inevitable run up, right? So that'd be my advice.
Yep. I agree with that. I agree with that. Door, what you got for us?
Yeah, Doug. Joe hit it on it, man. Kalanos, man. It's the easiest play in my opinion. As soon as deflationary mechanics get released, we're going to see Claymaker's price spike, Clay's price spike, especially when armors come out. Jesus Christ, you're going to see tacos, pizza, and croissants just absolutely go on a tear, dude. The team is so knowledgeable about what they're doing. I know this armor is going to look good. And you thought the meme game was strong before armor? Just wait till post armor. So I just think it's the easiest play on the market right now, and it just needs a little time. So I'm going to go with just Claynos or any, not Claynos specifically, but clay makers, clays, croissants, tacos, and pizza whenever that comes out.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Like the Klano ecosystem is just, it's fun to play. It's easy to play. It's safe to play. It feels like not financial advice. None of this is. We are just a bunch of bozos trading JPEGs on the internet. That being said, got a couple for you guys. One is going to be Galactic Geckos. Don't ask me why. Just a gut feeling. Just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
They've cooled down to they're at 48 right now. 43 was just like, it was resistance for them, and now has pivoted to support. So around this like 40s mark, to me, feels like a pretty good buy. Until proven otherwise, they're just a rabid community. They're a great community. It's not like they're toxic or anything like that. Geckos just vibe, man. I don't know what it is. So I love the Geckos here. Another one that is such a sleeper pick. I have no idea if it's going to pan out or not. Crypto Duck Punks. Look, I'm just saying right now, I don't know what it is, but here's my thought process, right? I know Bonk has some really cool things on the horizon. I've been seeing the Bonk intern and everything like that. Duck Punk's got a really good allocation of Bonk. I know Bonk and Duck Punk's founders, or I guess the owners now, are really well connected. I'm just playing the speculation game here at 1.07 on Tensor. This feels like a really cheap buy. It's
one like, of those low entry things, man.
It's like worth a punt to me. You know what I mean? Like if anything, it's just a fun collection to be in anyways. So if you're looking for like a really low cost entry, I think Ducks at 1.07 feels like a like why not sort of buy. It's just like a shoot your shot. I've spent $20 on worse. So
exactly,
love the ovals play. Dude, I think OK Bears is just primed and ready to compete in a top 3 spot. I don't think they're going to beat Klanos out. I think Klanos is just clear cut the number 1. We'll see who takes the top 5 spots after that. But OK Bears is just on such a solid chart right now, such a solid trajectory. Like this is the clearest uptrend I've seen in a while from them. A while. They've gone up from what? Like 40 or so, all the way up to 76.5. And it feels like they're actually making moves. I see them active on Twitter. I see a lot of PFPs changing over into OK Bears. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just, again.
Dude, we've been fading, at least me. I've been fading Bears since we've been doing this show, dog.
I don't feel good about it. You know what I mean? But if they're making moves finally,
of course,
to propel their brand and everything, I think that's a good one. I still think Lily and Lotus right now, they haven't done the airdrop, I don't think. Is that happening today? I think it was 4-4. I think it was supposed to be today. I don't know if that's happening. So, just see if the airdrop's happening. You can sell into that pump. Because I don't know if the airdrop's going to be worth it or not. I hold on to my 3 and 3 pair for free. Basically, I traded all the profits and that's a free bag for me. So, my risk is not your risk, right? I say that to everybody. It's not my risk. The other ones I'll say as far as NFT NYC related, now that I'm getting the information from Silas coming through with the alpha, Hello Moon, Sharky, and Oogie are having events. Or I think it's a joint event. So if so, Sharks seem like a good buy. I still think they're a good buy. I still think they're doing a lot of volume. But Oogie, look, post reveal. I'm still aiming for post reveal. I want the reveal dump, and then I will evaluate from there. Until then, I would rather play some safer plays personally, and most of my lick is just being saved on the sideline for Mad Lads and Heist, right? I mean, like I'm just Heist 100%. Like I try to chill other projects before mine, but I Heist. I'm all in on Heist. As far as that goes, I think those are plays. Everything else looks good. Dude, I love ovals right here. I don't know what it is. I think ovals at 18.3, this range. Feels pretty good, man. We'll see how it plays out. But anyways, that about does it. Guys, do you have anything else you want to share before we wrap up this awesome show?
No, man. Once again, thanks for everybody joining in today, and I hopefully see some of you dudes at NFT NYC.
That's right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, as always, to another episode of RareFUD Radio. Please make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you haven't watched on YouTube, what are you doing? This is the best place to watch is over on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, we appreciate you anyways. Make sure you are checking in on Apple and Spotify. We do have our podcast uploaded moments after the episode. We did have last week's uploaded yesterday. So if you guys were looking for it, it is up there now. And then we'll have today's episode uploaded shortly after the episode. that about does it for us on this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of RareFUD Radio. We will see you on the next